first client visit, like keep quiet, I'm so nervous, like don't butt in when you don't have to. My manager took me aside afterwards and said, look Brian, like you're valued, like you're hired for a reason, you can add input into this conversation. I remember that being a moment where I really felt like I belonged, I was part of the team.
What is it really like to work at Forvis Mazars? We invited some of our associates to share their experiences and perspectives on life at the firm. Hear their stories at our Graduate Roundtable.
Hi, I'm Ashing and welcome to the Forvis Mazars Graduate Roundtable. We're joined by three of our associates who are here to tell us what it's really like to work as a graduate at Forvis Mazars. Let's jump right in. So what kind of workplace did you think you were walking into?
For me, the reality of Forvis Mazars is very different from what I was expecting. Just from talking to my friends who are in other professional service firms, I was expecting really high-paced, pressurised environment. Now, like it is fast-paced, but I feel like once you get the work done, you're treated as a colleague as opposed to just a junior employee, kind of shoved down work to. So that was really good.
Coming in, I was super nervous, not knowing if I was going to say something wrong or do something wrong, but everyone is super welcoming. They understand our situation. Coming in as a nervous first year, everyone is in the same boat. They're super encouraging to ask lots of questions, and you have time to do the work. You have time to go for coffee and for lunch with your work colleagues and your peers. So it's very balanced between the work life and also the social downtime.
And what do you remember most about the first week?
I remember being shocked, I'm sure you guys are the same, that an assistant manager and a manager asked me out for a coffee like the first day on the floor, because I was expecting myself to just be going out with my fellow associates and kind of keep my head down. But it was really like showed me that I kind of belong on the team and that they're willing to invest time and to get to know me, which is great.
How did it feel like to talk with like a senior manager, like and a partner? How did that feel?
It was scary at first,
Yeah, 100%,
definitely.
yeah.
But I feel like once you get to know them on more of an informal, personal level, it kind of opens up and makes the conversation kind of flows, and you kind of realise they're not just as scary as my senior manager, actually an employee here as well who wants the best for you, which is great.
Is there a particular moment where you feel part of the team?
For me, I would say is like my impact on even the small tasks. Like I was assigned to do the minutes for a client call, and then the client emailed us, and specifically in the email wrote, "Thank you, Stephen, for these. These are very detailed minutes." And for me, I was like, wow, that's really nice. And then I put it in the Teams, and everyone liked my Teams and sent gifts, and I was like, that's great.
So you're having client interaction straight away.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I totally agree. Coming in, being on the tax department in the VAT team, every 2 months we have to deal with the clients, have to do their tax return. So having to work with clients and do the work, the actual important work from the get-go was really important to me, because it felt like I was actually looked at as a valuable worker and not just someone who's there to do all the side work that no one wants to do.
Yeah, I had a similar experience. I remember like my first week, I went on client site with my senior manager, and I remember thinking my first client visit, like keep quiet, I'm so nervous, like don't butt in when you don't have to. My manager took me aside afterwards and said, look Brian, like you're valued, like you're hired for a reason, you can add input into this conversation. I remember that being a moment where I really felt like I belonged, I was part of the team, and it's a real insight into what the culture is in Forvis Mazars.
What are some of the opportunities that you've been given that you weren't expecting?
Maybe it's not as flashy, but it's also being given time to learn. Like I remember before any client at work, my manager was like, look, Stephen, take this X amount of time and focus on the client, their background, their context, how the business functions. And I was like, wow, like this is like, I don't know, like I've never experienced that in any other job before.
One thing for me from working here for over almost 2 years, I feel like whenever there is work to do, they're not afraid to trust you to go in and do the work. But even when you're on a rotation, if there's work somewhere else on some other team and you have capacity, there's an expectation there that you'll go and do that work. And it's great to kind of get that variety of work and to see how other teams operate and see what kind of different managers are like. So,
What are the little things that people wouldn't notice that make a difference day to day?
For me, I feel like my interaction with my specific team, like we'll, help each other out, maybe bring snacks into the office, go on team walks for, team bonding, or maybe just to get out of the office, and it's those little things. It's nice, because it kind of gives you a breather, especially when it's busy or something, you can just step out, talk with them just as anyone else. Like,
loads of coffee breaks.
Yeah, loads of coffee breaks, always coffee breaks, even if no coffee.
Yeah, I would be similar, like just throwing yourself into all the events, because the Sports and Social Committee are great, to be fair, for organising events. And we had a bingo loco last year and a race day. They're really good events just for meeting people who are not just within your own team, but meeting people from, say the tax or the audit department. So I found that really great.
Yeah, I agree. I went to the promotions night before starting in the office, and it was an amazing way to get to meet new people. And when I started in the office my first day, I already saw some familiar faces, so it felt like it eased the nerves coming in, already knowing some people there. They came up to me and they were like, "Hi, best of luck on your first day. Let's go for a coffee later." So it was really nice coming in and really relaxed the nerves that they were already there and I wasn't just going in like a lone wolf.
Mm-hmm.
So what has helped you become more confident as time went on?
Personally, I would say the support and guidance and the patience from my team, my directors and my managers and my partner, they have my back. And even if I mess up, that's how you learn. They always give me feedback. So knowing that I'm like learning from my mistakes and they're okay with that, they're supporting me with that, is really building my confidence for the long term.
I think it's the little things as well that really make you feel like you belong. I remember when I first started, I had a mentor. It's called a buddy program, and he was great. So any questions I had, any silly questions I didn't want to ask my manager, I could go to him. Like, how do I work Teams, or how do I turn off my laptop? Just simple stuff that he can help out with. But then this year, this was my second year on the associate program, I was a buddy myself, and I got a text around Christmas time from my buddy saying, "Look, listen, Brian, just want to say thanks a million for all the support you've given me." So it was really like full circle moment and really like, built my confidence.
The friendships you make in this job is like very surprising. Like I remember when I was going into my CAP 2 exams, and I made a group chat with everyone who's taking the CAP 2 exams, and we would send like notes, doubts, worries, or just thoughts about anything, you know, relating to that. And now, like, you know, the exams are done now, but we're meeting up for drinks, going out, you know.
It's a nice way of getting to know new people from different departments.
Thanks, guys. It's great to hear that you all feel like you belong and you're part of the team. And thank you for joining the Forvis Mazars Graduate Roundtable. If you're interested in joining our graduate programme, please check out our website, as applications are now open.
Find out what it's like to have a career where you can grow, belong, and make an impact.